Hey everyone, welcome to another week with Bob and Chris. And last week we talked a little bit about, we talked a lot about how multi-factor authentication can get bypassed if you give away the codes. Well, Chris is going to show us some stuff today where he's actually seeing that multi-factor authentication sessions can be easily stolen.
Yeah, so this is happening to some of our customers, and we had a customer, not our customer. Whoa, that was close.
Yeah.
um, our customer's customer got hit with this, and they lost $67,000. So
Wow.
what could? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Basically, the idea is hackers will send out phishing emails. This is a large scale phishing campaign that's going on right now. There's multiple ones going on because they found a way to do this. They send you an email. You click on the link. And we'll go through a little bit of a demo on this because I have one that's active. But the attacker is going to send you a link. It's going to send you to a redirected page, just as that image shows, and it's going to look like a Microsoft login. But what they're
Okay.
doing is they're actually proxying that account, that connection. So what that means is you're connected to their proxy server, and then they establish a session with Microsoft on the other end, and they display that to you. So when you put your credentials in, they're stealing them. When you fill in your MFA token or your two-factor token, like so you put your code in or you approve the session, what normally happens is you get a session cookie back that says, okay, cool, you've authenticated and you can log in. Well, because you're going through the proxy server, they're stealing that session cookie and delivering it back to you. Because they have that cookie, they have access to your account. The user just gave them access to the account. So they don't need as long as that session stays active, they don't need multi-factor authentication anymore.
Oh, wow.
So people are taking over email accounts. Business email compromise is a big problem. And then they're launching phishing attacks from there. They're doing social engineering where they're trying to extort money and things like that, doing wire fraud. It's
So
sneaky.
in
It's sneaky how they're doing it.
in since they're going through a proxy server to get there,
Yep.
I'm sure the sessions are probably getting redirected back to Microsoft once they log in, and the user doesn't even know that they've been tapped.
Yeah, it'll log them right in. The key to look at this, and we'll go through one in here in just a minute. If you want to scroll down this, let's scroll down this page a little bit and show them the actual attack. Microsoft published this article. I posted on my LinkedIn and Facebook, but this is this one right here. So you can see where the user has a TLS session and it goes to a malicious proxy server. If you're not looking at the URL and the address bar at the top, you wouldn't even know because it is the Microsoft login. They're presenting you with that page. And yeah, so this is getting users. So this again goes back to defense in depth and why we have to educate users and why we have to be very careful about what's happening. And a lot of these domains for these proxy servers are getting caught, but they're getting caught 24 hours later. So when they send out hundreds of thousands or millions of emails, they're going to get a certain percentage of people that day before that domain gets taken down. And they keep registering more and more domains, and they keep sending these emails out. So it's important to understand that, look, if somebody does this, they need to let people know that they've submitted that, and to keep track of all the logins that are happening and where the sessions are established inside of your Microsoft account. Because once they get in, like I said, as long as the session is alive, which the default session, I think is 30 days, they're in there until you close all the sessions and change your password and reset their MFA and all that.
Well, we saw something like that back in December where somebody actually got in as a global administrator on an account and started monitoring other accounts.
Yeah, we had a prospect that came to us and we did a vulnerability assessment for, and we kind of determined that this was and we did a little bit of incident response with them. We determined that they had an MFA on for this user, but something like this hit them probably about 8 months ago. But this is becoming a bigger problem right now. And this is not an exclusively Microsoft problem. This could be a Google issue. This could be literally everything on the web that uses multi-factor or two-factor. They're going to give you back a session cookie.
Right.
They're just launching it to Microsoft because of the sheer number of people. But this can happen to any website, any software as a service application, anything. Email is just popular because business email compromise gets people paid.
Absolutely. So one of the key takeaways here is even if you're using multi-factor authentication, stop using the buttons that say save this session forever, and also log out when you're done.
Yeah, and again, you really need to be looking at logs, or have somebody look at the logs, because you're going to be able to see these sessions. We for us, we actually have some scripts that we can run against like email boxes for our customers anyway, and we can see when rules are being created inside of Outlook, because a big thing with business email compromise is they're going to create rules inside of your OWA, and they're going to, whatever email is supposed to be coming back is going to be routed to a different folder. So it's going to hide it from the user. And they're going to route sent items. They're going to delete things. Like, you're not going to know that they're in there until they launch their attack. And then obviously you'll know.
And a lot of people think that I talk to a lot of people. It's like, well, if I get compromised, I'll know it right away. And what we're seeing is a lot of the research is anywhere between 100 and 200 days of the bad guys sitting in there, just watching and learning and maybe exfiltrating data, setting things up. And like I said, back in December, I worked a case where where the bad guys were in there. They intercepted a wire transfer. They intercepted a wire transfer request. So their client said, "Oh, how do I send you money?" And the bad guys answered it because they were in the email account, watching and waiting. And $200,000 later, it was gone.
I have a funnier one that's not anything about losing money. It's just embarrassing. So we had a customer. They have a guy that works on the floor, and he doesn't use email that often. Well, he had his account compromised like 2 years ago, and these attackers were smart. They didn't send anything internal. They were just blasting out like German porn messages.
Oh no!
So Microsoft would block the account eventually, right? Because too many emails were going sent out, and then I think eventually it would just unblock itself. Like, normally you have to unblock it, but for whatever reason, it was just unblocking itself. And then it was like every year within like a 2-week period, they were just launching this attack. They never sent an email to internal. This guy barely ever sent internal emails, so there's nothing for him to really steal. They must have just got bored with him. So they would just launch this. We go back and we look at this because this guy's like saying my email's active funky. So we finally look at it. We're like, dude, you're sending out porn. Like, what is going on here? We go back and look, and we start pulling logs, and we see that this account was initially compromised like 2 years ago. But because he doesn't even send really internal emails, and they never sent internal emails, he never let anybody know that he was getting weird messages back. And they didn't even have really good rules. He was just getting weird messages back, so he was just ignoring them. I'm like, what? We were like, why were you ignoring these? He's like, I don't know. I don't care. I'm like,
yeah,
okay. So let's show them. I actually got one of these emails. Actually, I've got a couple of them, but the domains get taken down pretty quickly. Well, let's flip over to that. Let's just kind of go through this real quick.
Actually, talk about that for a second. You're saying domains get taken down really quickly. The guys are sending out these bad emails, and domains are getting taken down because people are reporting problems, and they're getting discovered, and domains are able to get blocked.
Yeah, and with Chrome and with like Edge, they will once a URL gets tagged as malicious, it'll actually warn you, and you'll see that, because I have one that's still working, but it's marked as malicious in Edge. But when they first send these out, the URL is not going to be marked as malicious. It's literally going to launch right into your browser, and and the user could submit this. So switch over to that.
And while you're pulling up the identification piece that Chris is talking about of people finding stuff, the same thing applies to your antivirus software that's sitting out there. It's so easy to take an existing virus package, recraft it, re-encrypt it, and send it out, and the tools don't find it.
Yeah.
So
let's look at this. So this is an email I actually got. This is from July 21st. And
it's a little eye chart.
What?
It's an eye chart.
Yeah. Oh, is it small?
Yeah.
Yeah. What you'll see here is it's coming from support, which is a fake email account. Now I have DMARC turned on, but I don't have so we protect our email, and if somebody's trying to send through our domain, right now, 25% of the time it's going to get through because we don't have 100% of our email sent through that. So just understand that I shouldn't have got this if I did this right, but I got this. If I click on this domain, this link right here, what's going to happen is it's going to launch URL. And I'm doing this in a sandbox environment, so this isn't going to affect anything. So it's going to launch this URL. And right now, Smart Screen is turned on, so it's going to tell me this is unsafe. This is not normal. This is only because this is a few days old. So I can just go through here. I can continue. It's going to warn me a couple times.
Well, people want to keep their passwords safe, so keep their passwords so they are going to click through it.
Yeah, and it says it's a phishing. It says it's a phishing account too. But see what they did by tagging my email address in here. Now, I'm gonna out myself here, and I'm probably gonna have to go make sure I nuke these accounts, like whatever. But like, so I have a personal account because a long time ago Microsoft wouldn't let you sign into certain things with the work account. So anyway, so it prompts me. It's like, okay, so which account is this? Because this is an actual Microsoft page being proxied to me, even though I'm not on Microsoft. This is an actual Microsoft login page. It's saying, okay, do you want to log into your personal account or your work account? So if I click my work account.
So before you do that, though, the URL up top doesn't say Microsoft.
No, and I don't want to out these people, but they got their domain taken over. So if I click on this, and I'm really going to put myself out there on this because this is my email account. What you're going to see, I have passwordless login turned on, so I have to put a code in. So if I look at this, I am getting my MFA prompt or I am getting my passwordless login prompt on my phone right now. And if I put my number in here, they're going to complete the login process. They're going to steal my session cookie and they have access to my account. Now, I'm not going to do that. Clearly.
Yeah, please don't do that.
No, no, I'm not going to do that. I can even choose use password here and just go to this, but look, it's going to like go back.
This really is Microsoft though, right
now.
This
is serving me a Microsoft page. Yep, 100%. And I chose no, that's not me. So just to block it. This should send me back just to the password page from Microsoft. I don't know. Their proxy might. Oh, see, I got request denied there. So that was me denying their request. But see, this is still the Microsoft page saying, hey, look, if you want to log in with your password, go ahead. It's still going to prompt me for my multi-factor after that. But like, again, this is a live phishing site.
Wow.
If your users don't get that message, even if they do and they click through it and they submit their credentials here, they have access to that account now. And now, is this a great email? No, this is not a great email. It's the worst email I've ever seen. But it puts a sense of urgency, right? Your password has expired. You're required to keep your password to avoid login and access interruption. They spelled interruption wrong, so there's a to your Microsoft account. Some people might not catch that. Again, they're trying to get you. They're showing a sense of urgency. They're trying to get you to click on it, and once you click on it,
marketing 101.
They serve you up their Microsoft page, and if you're not paying attention to this address bar up here, and you submit those credentials, they now have your they now have a session cookie, and they have access to your account. So whatever you have access to. So if you're somebody out there that's running and you're running as a global administrator at Microsoft, well, guess what? You just gave them global admin to your entire Microsoft account. They can do what they want. They can buy licenses. They can they can create email accounts. They can if you have licenses available, they create an email account that you don't even know about.
We did an assessment about 6 months ago for a company, and we checked out their Office 365 environment. There were 6 more domains registered in their account that they had no idea who they were.
Yep. So somebody had their global admin compromised, and they just started adding domains. Yeah. And if you have free licenses, they can use one license and use all of those domains.
And you're right. They did have free license because it was a nonprofit that had extra stuff sitting there.
Yeah. And by free, I just mean available, but yeah, free too. That's even worse. Because now they can actually create multiple ones dedicated to each one. So I guess we hope this is helpful for everybody, because this is stuff that's actually happening right now. This is ongoing attacks. It's something that you have to be mindful of, especially with your users. And again, it just goes back to why just one security defense isn't enough. There has to be a defense in depth approach where we're doing multiple things to protect accounts, to make sure that if one protection fails, we have something else in place that can help us detect it and then respond to it.
So if somebody at a company
Mhm.
reports to the office manager or something that they got one of these emails and they clicked through and did it, what should they be doing today?
One of the great things about Microsoft is you can go in and nuke all sessions. So you can actually close out a user session. So obviously disable their account, reset the password, nuke all the sessions. And I say disable the account because that session sign out doesn't work immediately.
Okay.
So it takes a couple minutes. So I would disable the account first, sign them out of all their sessions inside the portal, and wait a few minutes, let that go, and then change your password. You don't have to reset their MFA because, again, they're not stealing the actual MFA. They're stealing the cookie that gets generated when you log in. But you need to kill all of the sessions. You need to tell Microsoft, look, if there's a session open, kill it. And that's going to force them to sign into everything again. But that's including on computers and stuff like that. So it's probably going to prompt them for MFA a lot of other places. That's fine. That's what you want. You want to kill those sessions. The problem that we see is not every software as a service and things like that support killing all sessions.
Got it.
Which means you may have to call support. You may have to say, hey, look, somebody click, like if it's something, if it's for some other product, somebody clicked on this, they went through and they submitted their credentials and their token, or their MFA key or token or whatever you want to call it. You may have to call support. Microsoft gives us the ability to do that in the portal, but there is a delay. It does take a few minutes.
So, but disabling the account's a really good point because it's disabled.
Yeah, disabling it is usually quicker. It doesn't mean it's going to stop it immediately because Microsoft there's a delay on things. But I would disable it, change password, and sign them out of all the sessions, and then give it a few minutes.
And if the person that did it was a global admin, give us a call.
If they tell you too late and you're really scared, you really need to do probably instant response, and that's a different topic. We can maybe go through what instant responses later, but that's where you want to bring a company in to actually piece together the entire thing and kind of go back through it, because especially if you have critical data that could have been accessed, then that's a bigger problem. Yeah. So,
okay.
All right.
Well, a little long today, but have a great day and give us some top. If you have an idea for something you'd like to hear in the future, please comment below. DM Chris or me if you've got active issues or even questions. We're always here to talk.
And if you've seen emails like this and stuff like that, hit us up. Let us know, because like we're seeing this with our customers. So people out there clearly have to be seeing this. So if you know anybody that's experienced this or anything like that, share with us. Let us know, and we're glad to help. So.